Hello everyone, welcome to the drug channel. How much do you trust a medicine your doctor gives you? What if I say the drug being prescribed to a pregnant woman was later found to associated with harming their unborn babies permanently? This is the story of thalidomide, a drug which changed the medicine forever.
To understand thalidomide, you need to understand the world of 1950s. It were the time of post-World War decade of optimism. Medicine was changing the world with rapid scientific developments such as introduction of polio vaccine, antibiotics, new psychiatric drugs. That point of time, pharmaceutical companies launching hundreds of new drugs, they earned public trust. Doctors too relied heavily on companies' claims. Regulation were almost non-existent. Safety testing was voluntary, no strict clinical trials, drug widely promoted as safe with little proof.
It was the time the medicine was advancing faster than the laws protecting people.
In 1953, Chemik Grunenthal, a German pharma company, came up with a new drug called thalidomide. It was originally intended as an anticonvulsant. It failed in that role, but it appeared to be an exceptional sedative. The company noticed something unusual in their preclinical trials. Even in massive doses, an animal didn't die. The company's conclusion was, if it cannot kill, it must be safe. By the late 1950s, thalidomide was marketed globally under more than 40 brand names with claims such as completely safe for everyone, non addictive, no side effects, perfect for pregnant women with morning sickness, and it's impossible to overdose.
It became a bestseller. In Germany, it was available over the counter without a prescription.
Doctors prescribed thalidomide pills and people too trusted it fully. No one had any idea on what was coming. By 1959, murmurs of concern began emerging. Patients were reporting nerve damage, painful tingling, numbness, paralysis. This condition was peripheral neuropathy, a warning sign of toxicity, but the manufacturer insisted these were rare, temporary, not serious, and not drug related. But something far more horrific was about to unfold. In late 1959 and early 1960s, doctors across Europe began noticing something strange. A sudden spike in babies born with severe limb deformities, a rare condition called phocomelia. A typical deformities include missing arms and legs, flipper-like limbs, missing ears and eyes, heart defects, kidney malfunctions, gastrointestinal anomalies, facial paralysis, absence of bone structures. As if the babies looked like if their bodies were being sculptured incorrectly, doctors were shocked, parents were totally devastated. At first, no one could explain completely. Was it genetics, radiation, infection? Then a young German pediatrician, Dr. Widukind Lenz, made a breakthrough. He interviewed mothers. He noticed a pattern. Almost all of them had taken thalidomide during early pregnancy. This was the missing link, and the truth was more horrifying than anyone imagined. Scientists discovered that thalidomide was a powerful teratogen, a substance that causes a birth defects. Critical window is between the day 20 to 36 after conception. That's the time when limb buds and organs are forming. Even a single dose could cause a catastrophic damage. By the time thalidomide was removed from the market, it had already spread through 46 countries. Almost 10,000 to 20,000 babies were affected. Only 40% survived infancy. Tens of thousands of miscarriages were likely linked. Thousands of mothers were emotionally devastated. Many families bankrupted by lifelong care needs. This was not a small isolated event. It was a global medical catastrophe.
But in United States, something extraordinary happened. A young FDA reviewer, Dr. Francis Oldham Kelsey, refused to approve thalidomide.
She insisted on more safety data, more pregnancy tests, clarification on neuropathy reports. Despite enormous pressure from US pharmaceutical companies, she refused and stood her ground.
Because of one determined scientist, thalidomide was never widely sold in US, saving thousands of American children.
As the truth emerged, outrage exploded worldwide. Families sued manufacturers, government were accused of negligence, compensation battles lasted decades. Survivors today still fight for benefits.
But out of this tragedy came something monumental.
Thalidomide lead directly to major reforms such as mandatory preclinical pregnancy testing, stronger clinical trial phases, tighter drug approval scrutiny, informed consent requirements, pharmacovigilance systems, black box warnings, restricted on marketing.
This was the tragedy that nearly destroyed a generation. And finally, the modern world learned to test the drug right way.